creator of the Protective Diet, and I'm excited to show you how to make homemade yogurt. Thanks to one of my Protective Diet education students, Martha, she shared the recipe with me, and now I want to share it with everyone. It's a great recipe and produces a successful batch every time as long as you follow all the instructions. I've changed and tweaked a few of the directions, as you will as you make batch after batch. You'll get faster and you'll make your own adjustments to it. But when you're making this yogurt, I want you to follow the directions completely because it's very important in order to produce a successful batch of yogurt. So the equipment that we need is all here to make the yogurt. We need a stock pot with a lid. We need a yogurt maker. I have a Yo Gourmet yogurt maker. Any brand will do. All the yogurt maker really does is keep the yogurt at a specific temperature in order to grow the culture in the yogurt. And we need a colander. We need a 1-quart jar with a lid, a whisk, a spoon, a thermometer, a timer, 32 ounces of soy milk, and I want this to be organic soy milk, and all it contains is soybeans and water. This is very important when making yogurt that it doesn't contain any food additives. A yogurt starter, such as this one. This one's a non-dairy yogurt starter. I have a link for this on protectivediet.com, or you could use a vegan yogurt starter. There's several different brands out there. And this batch that I'm making for you today, I'm going to use a half a cup of the yogurt from my previous batch. So after you start making yogurt, after you do your first batch, you take out half a cup before you start eating that yogurt and save it for your next batch. That way these packets, you don't have to use them and invest in them every time you make a batch of yogurt. Your yogurt will end up costing you under $2 for a box of soy milk, for a whole quart of yogurt. So what we're gonna start off with is we're gonna fill up our pot with water. And we're filling our pot with water and bringing it to a boil with the lid on to sanitize the pot. That's our first starter step. Okay, my water has come to a boil, so I'm going to turn the flame off. And I'm going to put my colander in the sink, along with my ball jar opened and the lid in the colander, the spoon in the jar, and the whisk in the jar. And I'm going to pour the boiling water over these items to sanitize them. Take special care so you don't burn yourself with this boiling water. I'm even going to clean off my thermometer. So now everything that I'm going to be making my yogurt with has been sanitized. This is a very important step not to skip over. I'm going to turn it up to about medium-low heat on my burner. This is an extra large burner, so it's going to depend on your burner, on your stove. You're going to have to try this out a few times. We're going to put the whole box, 4 cups of unsweetened plain soy milk, into the clean, sanitized pot. And what our goal is to bring this up to 160 degrees. So we're going to use our thermometer to check it. And I know on my stove, after doing this several times, that it's about medium-low heat. So you'll have to try it. I would suggest checking it after about 5 minutes. The reason I'm not putting this on high to heat it up is because I don't want to get this past 160 degrees too fast. So we're starting out on medium-low, and I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes because I know on mine it takes 10 minutes. For you, I want you to check the temperature after 5 to see where it's at on your stove. And then after you do it a few times, you'll be able to gauge it where you can set a timer, and you'll know exactly how long it'll take to get to 160 degrees. My timer just went off. So on my stove, I know it's at exactly 160 degrees after doing this a few times. You want to put the thermometer in while tilting the pan so that you get a good reading. Don't poke the thermometer down all the way to the base of the pan or else it'll be really hot. You want it in the middle of the milk. And when it hits the temperature, hold it there for a little while just to see if it's going to go past or not. We want it at 160 degrees, no more than 180 degrees. Okay, it's perfectly at 160. So what I want to do now is leave the lid off so it allows for some evaporation. That'll give us some thicker yogurt. And I'm going to turn my heat to low on my stove. That will keep it between 160 and 180 for 20 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes. I'm also going to check this every few minutes, and I'm going to take my sanitized whisk and I'm going to whisk it maybe every 5 minutes to keep it from developing a skin or a thick coating on the top of the milk. And I'm also going to check the temperature when I do whisk it to make sure that I'm not going above 180 degrees. If I am, it's starting to get too hot, remove the pan from the burner or turn the burner down to its very lowest setting. Okay, my milk has been holding steady between 160 and 180 degrees for 20 minutes, and I was whisking every 5. And now I'm going to move this over to a rack to allow it to cool. I want this to cool down to exactly 100 degrees, between 100 and 110 degrees. I like to bring it down to 100 degrees because when we start the yogurt and add the starter, we don't want to kill the starter by the temperature being too high. So we're going to check this about every 15-20 minutes to see what temperature it's at until it gets to that 100-degree marker. It all depends on the temperature of your house. If your house is cooler, it'll drop faster. So time it so that the next time you make the yogurt, you know about how long it takes so you don't have to keep checking it with a thermometer. Okay, our milk is down to exactly 100 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my yogurt maker to the water line that's on the inside of it. The water is what heats up to keep the yogurt at temperature. I'm going to plug that in, and then I'm going to take my jar, and the water that's in here is still warm. It only took about 30 minutes to cool down my milk to 100 degrees, by the way. I'm just going to pour out the water. The next step would be to add your starter to the jar. And my jar's a little bit warm, and my yogurt, I took it out of the refrigerator when I started the whole process. I'm using the yogurt as the starter versus one of these powder starter packets. So I want to bring, this is still a little cool, but it's almost at room temperature. This jar is warm, so this will warm up my starter so that it doesn't cool my milk down too much. So I'm just going to add my half a cup of yogurt from my previous batch into the jar. Now, if you were using the powdered starter, it comes in little packets like this. You'd open it up, put a little sprinkle in, pour some milk in, and then add the rest of the packet and pour the rest of the milk in and give it a good stir. Now, I'm just going to give this a good stir to get my previous batch of yogurt that I added mixed in with the milk. And then I'm going to take my clean sanitized lid, place it on top, put it in my yogurt maker, put on the lid, and I'm going to set my timer from anywhere between 8 to 10 hours. I found in 8 hours it makes nice yogurt, but if I leave it that extra 2 hours, it gets a thicker yogurt that I prefer. Now, I use this yogurt in many different applications. I love it with just fresh fruit or frozen fruit. I'd take out of the refrigerator overnight and defrost. It's an excellent sour cream replacement or salad dressing base. It's delicious for that as well. So I'm gonna set my timer, I'm gonna go to bed and wake up in the morning and have nice fresh yogurt that I would then refrigerate for several hours to chill down because it'll be warm. It won't be that great to eat in the morning. So I like making my yogurt overnight because I know I'm going to be home to turn it off after 10 hours. My yogurt was in the yogurt maker for 10 hours last night, and I had it chilling in the refrigerator for about another 8 hours. So now it's nice and ready. It's all chilled down. And before I dig into my yogurt, I'm going to take about a half a cup of the yogurt out of this batch so that I can start my next yogurt batch. And I could start that tonight if I wanted to. But you can see this is nice and thick. And this yogurt has a lot of tang to it. It's not typical of the yogurt that you would, find in your grocery store that's sweetened. So you want to add some frozen fruit to it. The chia seed jam would be excellent with this yogurt. I've had that. And I also use it as a sour cream replacement. I love it on salads with salsa roja. I just wanted to point out one other thing. When I was making the yogurt, this yogurt maker comes with an insert. A lot of yogurt makers come this way. They come with this plastic insert and you're to make the yogurt batch right into there. Well, I removed this and I made my yogurt right into this quart mason jar, or ball jar is the brand I use, and I put it straight into my yogurt maker. So I eliminated this plastic liner. In case that was confusing to you, I just wanted to point it out. But I hope you try making some yogurt, find yourself a yogurt maker, and get started in your kitchen. Take care and best of health to you.